Hi everybody, and welcome to AP Lazer Workshop. My name is Jason. If you're your first time joining us, welcome. If you're back again, welcome again. What we're going to be doing and talking about today is our chuck rotary tool here. Our chuck rotary tools are available for purchase for all of our machines. They're listed on our AP Lazer store for sale, but we do ask typically that you give us a call and speak to one of our technicians before ordering it, just to verify that you are purchasing the right one for your machine based off the type of motors. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using our chuck rotary to put a vector image on a tumbler. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to locate the tumbler we're going to be using, and I've got my setup kind of demo cup here. And when we're setting this up, the first thing we want to do is we actually want to measure the diameter of our tumbler here. Now, our chuck rotary sets up a little bit different than our linear roller. Our linear roller rotary tool, basically when we set up our diameters and things like that, it's based off the wheel diameter and the drive shaft, how we calculate that. For our chuck rotary, we actually extend out. And so we actually want to measure the type of tumbler that we're doing to make sure that we're giving a full rotation here. So when we're first setting up, again, what we want to do is we want to measure the diameter of our tumbler. So I've got my ruler here, and if I measure across here, I'm right about 3.5 inches diameter. So the next thing I want to do is I actually want to set this up on my chuck rotary tool. I've got our one inside the machine already set up, and so I find it best when we first begin to start with it straight upright. We're just going to place our tumbler right over the top of this, and the reason that I like to start with it straight up and down when I'm setting up my piece is because I want to make sure that I'm even across and I'm not tilted like this or like this here. So once I have this on here and I feel like I'm tightened up, I can use my chuck key to tighten and expand the teeth. And I'm just going to kind of hold my tumbler in place while I do that until I have a nice snug fit. So after I have a nice snug fit, I can actually rotate this to make sure I'm even. And I see I'm a little lopsided here, so I'm going to go ahead and readjust a little bit. There we go. And just like that. So now I can kind of, a little off there. Didn't have it quite tight enough. And there we go. So now I can see, spin it around, make sure I'm nice and straight there. And then typically the chuck rotary is going to then tilt down like so. So we can actually set it up, and this is actually going to be free floating here. So you want to make sure that your tumbler's on there nice and snug. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and jump over to our program here and take a look at our file. So the file I have selected is going to be a EPS file, which I purchased off of Big Stack. I'm going to open up my Corel Draw program here. And go ahead and import in my image. I want to import my EPS as a editable and as curves. And I'm just going to drop this right down here. So what I have here, just to kind of go with the theme of Halloween, is I have a sheet with a bunch of spooky little trees going on here. So when you're looking for certain files, I typically like to find these files that have numerous images on here. This just kind of helps with getting more images, more bang for your buck, basically. And as you can see, it's in an entire sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ungroup this. So I'm going to hit my Control U button, And that's going to allow me just to pick one of these trees like so. Go ahead and select my other ones and just hit delete to get rid of them. I'm going to bring this back into my working area and size this up. So I can either come here to the corner and kind of visually scale it, or if I wanted to, I can come here and make sure my ratio is locked here. And then I can adjust my height to say 3.5 inches. And so that way it'll self-adjust my width here. If you've watched some of our other videos, we've talked about this type of file, the EPS file, where if we zoom in, we see that we have already nice and smooth lines. There's not really a lot of editing you need to do to this, if any. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and export it out as a DXF file. Oh, this is our tree. And hit export. I want my AutoCAD version to be an AutoCAD R14. We're going to be exporting as inches. Export text as curves, and export bitmap as a BMP. And again, color or unfilled doesn't really matter here. And we'll hit OK. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to minimize this and go ahead and jump into my RDWorks program. And the first thing that I want to do is I actually want to make sure that my rotary tool is set up correctly. So I'm going to select my user tab here, which I already had pulled up, and I'm going to have other selected. Now again, remember that before we hook up our rotary tool, we want our machine to be on and we want to engage it first. So what you'll want to do is come down here to read. And I've got mine already preset. You want to enable rotary. Circle pulse is either going to be 5,000 or 6,400 based off the motor that you have in your machine. And then our diameter. And this diameter, again, most of the time when we're using our linear rotary, we typically put that in based off of the gears and the roller diameter of the actual wheels. For here, because we're using that chuck rotary, we're actually going to put in the diameter of our tumbler here, which is the 3.5. And you'll just want to click on right. And after you have this set up is actually when you're going to want to power off your machine and hook up your rotary tool. Again, when you're using the rotary tool or the chuck rotary tool and you're setting it up, you always want to make sure that you let the machine fully reset. If you don't let the machine fully reset, it can cause different issues, give you a lot of different error codes like a Y slop over error. Your image can be distorted or stretched. And again, it takes a little bit longer than a normal reset of the machine when you're doing flat work. Just to save a little bit of time, again, I've already set things up over in my machine. So the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and import in our image. I'm going to find my tree DXF right here and open. I'm then going to come over to my work tab here, and if I double click on my mode here, this is where we can set our speed, our power, and our interval. Now if you watch some of our other videos where we've done with these powder coated tumblers before, we did save those settings in our parameter library. So I'm going to go ahead and come up to my parameter library, and I'm going to select my tumbler setting and then just come down here to load. So this brings me up to a speed of 10, power of 35, and an interval of a 333 dpi, or if we switch this over into inches, a 0.003. Going to go ahead and hit OK. Now, based off of the age of your machine or when you've got your machine, on some of my older models, you actually want to turn this so your motor is facing on the right-hand side. And we'll take a look at what we have set up currently in our machine now again. Now, my factory has been working hard on trying to simplify some of this process because we know that with our normal rotary tool that the motor actually goes on the left-hand side. So if you've gotten one of our newer machines recently and you've gotten the chuck rotary, you'd actually want to spin the rotary or the chuck rotary around the other way. Again, we kind of made this just to simulate the way our normal rotary tool sets up and just to eliminate a little bit of confusion here. The machine that I'm working with currently was before that change was made, so my motor is on the right-hand side. So what I'm going to want to do with my image here is I'm actually going to want to rotate this negative 90 degrees. So right up top here in my RDWorks program, right here is my rotation. So I'm going to go ahead and make that a negative 90 degrees. And then my personal choice for setting my origin is I prefer to get a little bit closer to the rim of the tumbler. So I'm going to change my origin by coming up to Config and System Setting. And right here under Laser Head, I'm going to select my center right positioning. And I'm going to hit X. And we can see by our green box here, which indicates our laser origin, where that origin's been changed to. I'm going to go ahead and move my menu back up here and go ahead and download my file. All right. So let's jump over to our machine next here. So open this up a little bit. So again, I did do a little bit of staging ahead of time just to save a little bit of time. Again, my rotary tool was already hooked up. I've already reset my machine and let that size itself up and find its homing positioning. So we want to just double check our focus here. So I'm going to grab my focus stick and just verify we are in focus. I'm going to run my laser head to the left-hand side here and double check again. And we can come up just a little bit. Too much there. More. Set this a smidge. Check, and we're looking good there. Now, as always, when I first set up my first piece, I do like to use a speed square just to kind of draw a line down here so I can run my laser head left and right to make sure that I'm nice and straight. Back to the left here. Going ahead and hit origin, and then I can frame out. Good, and I want to bring that down just a smidge. I'm going to re-origin, frame again. All right. So everything looks good on this end. I'm going to go ahead and close my lid and hit start. So while that's running, I'll go ahead and jump back over to my computer here and answer any questions you may have. All right, feel free, anybody with any questions, go ahead and just type them in either the Q&A spot or in the chat message, and I'll be able to respond in real time for you here. Now I do want to point out one of the advantages of using the chuck rotary compared to maybe the linear rotary that comes with your machine is when you're dealing with certain things that maybe have a little bit of a weight distribution issue, like a coffee mug or a beer mug or anything like that, where the handle may get in the way by hitting the rollers, or is a little bit too heavy as it rotates up, it likes to slide back down. This can actually help avoid that issue altogether. And having somebody ask if they can use the autofocus device that it received with their machine versus using the plastic focus template. With the autofocus, that is something we're kind of working on trying to perfect out. We want to just make sure that it's able to be utilized on a universal and be used on numerous products. You can kind of use that if you're taking a normal focus gauge to kind of help out as you're moving left and right with that. It can help, but I do normally recommend just using your focus stick. I'm having somebody ask, would it be good for something like a wine glass that is tapered? I would not recommend this for a wine glass or something that's real thin glass, mainly because the pressure that you're adding to the inside of it can actually crack it. If you are interested, we will be doing here shortly in the near future a video about how to do certain like wine glasses, champagne flutes, and things like that are a little bit different than your normal tumbler, that has a little bit more weight on the bottom end, and how to properly set that up for your rotary tool. So please keep an eye out for that. Again, we will be having a video over that here shortly. Someone else asked, what size system is the rotary system better utilized for, all sizes or for smaller systems? If you're actually asking about the chuck rotary, it is universal. It is used for all of our machines, so anywhere from the 1812 all the way up to the 4836. We do have the different connections, which is one reason that we do ask that you give us a call before ordering online, just to ensure that you're getting the correct type and the correct type of connection. All right, let's go grab our tumbler and see what we have here. I'm going to go ahead and move my laser head out of the way here. And we'll jump back over to my desk and clean her up and see what we have here. So unclean, this is what we're looking at here. I know it's a little bit hard to see there, but again, what I prefer to use for cleaning these up is either a little bit of Dawn dish soap or some nice oxygen orange cleaner, anything like that. Give that a little spray, and then I like to take a little magic eraser here. Line it up just a little bit. And there we go there. Try to get it without a glare. I'm having Craig ask here, when using colored mugs, I'm assuming you don't need to use any stir mark. That is correct, Craig. With any kind of powder coating, you don't need to use any kind of stir mark or anything like that. Basically, you're just etching off the powder coating down to get to the bare metal here. And if you are interested, I do believe we do have a stir mark video out there as well to show you how to properly use the stir mark, how to coat, and everything like that. And I have Chrissy asking, how small or big of an item can be held within the chuck rotary tool? So really with the chuck rotary tool, as far as small, I mean, you can do something as small as a wedding ring. The teeth will actually fit around it, and you're actually able to turn the head. Get this up again and kind of demonstrate for you. Try not to lose my wedding ring here, or my wife will definitely kill me. But I can actually stretch this out. So that the ring can actually come inside like so. And because I'm able to angle this a little bit better, I can kind of set it up like so and try to rotate this and engrave on the inside. If I wanted to do the outside, I could actually put a bar on the outside too, so I could slide my ring through that and have it etch around on the outside. As far as weight, this has probably got about a 10-pound weight limit at max to be able to rotate properly with it. So anything, again, probably about the biggest item I would probably put in here would probably be a nice big stout beer mug maybe. Having somebody ask, how much extra is the chuck rotary tool? I believe the chuck rotary tool can be added onto your machine purchase for around $300 extra. I would definitely check with your salesperson too to see what kind of deal we can work out for you. But again, it's not going to eliminate the actual rotary tool that comes standard with the equipment. It would be an add-on. So we'll leave this open just for a few more minutes to see if anybody else has any questions. Again, if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your salesperson. If you don't have one yet, again, Don is right here with you, can answer any kind of cost questions or anything like that. I'm having somebody, can you do rings on a standard rotary tool? Yes, you could probably still do the outside of a ring. Again, if you had something to be able to slip it on and then place between the rotary wheels to actually spin that. I have done that before. Another nice thing you could do with this is even gun casing shells. They work real well with the chuck rotary tool. A little bit easier to set up than trying to do it within our linear rotary tool. Again, just really kind of expands your options and your capability to access more capability of the machine. All right, well, we'll go ahead and start wrapping up now. Again, if you have any questions about any additional add-ons to our machines or any kind of cost, feel free to reach out to any one of our qualified sales individuals like Dawn herself. If you have any technical questions, please feel free to give our tech support team a call. Even if you're not a customer, to ask some more technical related questions. We're always happy to help out our sales team and our sales members. You can reach us 24/7 at 844-364-8211. And we'll be, again, happy to answer any questions that you have. We'll go ahead and wrap it up for now. I appreciate y'all joining us today, and hopefully you found some of this informative. And again, any questions, let us know. You guys have a great weekend and a great day.